Dennis Wrigley Ministries, a better way, unity, renewal and healing.
How do you think of God? A distant figure? A patriarchal man? An image, unmoving? How do you perceive God? Some perceive him as it, an impersonal force with whom you can't communicate. I would like to suggest that you approach God and that you have no preconditions and that you let him surprise you. Let me give you an instance. I was with some young people and they were concerned about a little boy called Ali in the Lebanon who was in desperate need of food and of education and a home. And this group of youngsters, probably 30 of them, prayed. And they prayed that little Ali may find a place to live, may find a school to go to, and may find a family to live with. But they hadn't a clue how it could happen, because after all, we lived miles away. When they stopped praying after just 5 minutes, one of the boys said, "God's told me we've got to do it." And another girl said, "Yes, I heard the same." And the third one said, "Yes, I heard the same." You see, they were praying to the one God. There are not lots of gods. And the one God spoke to those 3, and then 4, and then 5, and then 30. What happened? They said, "We will sign on a piece of paper that it is our responsibility to feed and clothe and educate Ali." And they signed it. On the piece of paper it said, "We will give so much money every week, and if we can't do it, we'll find someone to take our place." In that simple act, the human need scheme came into being. Ali was fed, clothed, and educated until he was 17. He was brought up in a loving family. He was cared for. They sent him presents and birthday time and Christmas and times of family rejoicing. Now, why can I remember all this? Because for those 30 young people, it was a surprise. They had never actually gone to God and listened. And they all heard him say the same phrase, do something now. And they did. And the necessary steps were taken literally within, I think it was 2 days. Now, if you or I come to God and we are ready to listen, he will speak to us. He will surprise us. He may ask us to do crazy things. But I want you to know that the church, which rules nothing out in the adventure of prayer, will, I can assure you, repeatedly be surprised by God. I was at a meeting in Loughborough with about 100 people in a great big circle, and we were praying for a man who 2 or 3 had met in a pub 3 days earlier on the other side of town. We all prayed that one way or another, God would speak to this man, bless him and help him in his need. God surprised everyone. The man unexpectedly walked in through the door, then and there. People couldn't believe it. 1 or 2 thought it was an apparition. But God honored their prayer. God surprised them. In Northern Ireland, a man who caused mayhem in one of the smaller towns of the province. He was hated by everybody. And we had Christian groups praying that his heart may be softened, to which the onlookers said, "You're mad, it's impossible." They prayed that this man's hard heart may be broken. What happened? He actually came to the prayer meeting, not knowing it was a prayer meeting. He walked in and people couldn't believe it. And he fell to his knees and he said, "I want you to forgive me for all the hurt I've caused you over the years." People were staggered. People were surprised. God honored their prayers in a way which they would never have imagined. My simple message is, are you prepared to let God surprise you? Perhaps right now.
Dennis Wrigley Ministries, a better way, unity, renewal and healing. Thank you for watching.